Hi, I'm Dr. John Keon from the Marketing Advantage, where for the last 30 years we've worked exclusively with biotech and pharmaceutical companies in the area of sales compensation and sales analytics. Today we're going to talk about the challenges of sales compensation design for rare disease. There are three types of rare disease. First is the rare disease with a pent-up product demand. This is the rare disease where a lot of people are aware of the disease, but there's no medication for it, and hence there's a pent-up demand. The second type of rare disease is the hard-to-diagnose rare disease. This is the more common rare disease, where it's difficult to diagnose as well as having few patients. And finally, there's the ultra-rare disease. This is the rare disease where there are very few patients, and they're very far between, and usually it's very hard to diagnose. Now, there are a number of reasons why a sales compensation plan is so difficult to design for rare disease. The first is a very small patient population. Consequently, it's difficult to know where they necessarily are. And part of that is because there's not a lot of data about the rare disease. There may be claims data, but usually it's not complete, and we have a lot of missing parts for rare disease data. The third part that makes sales compensation design so difficult is because most of the rare disease are difficult to diagnose, and it's a long-term process to train the physicians. And that brings us to the last reason why rare disease sales compensation plans are difficult, that the lack of physician exposure to the rare disease makes it difficult to set up a sales compensation plan. Now let's talk about three pitfalls to avoid for rare disease product launch. The first is that many biotech and pharmaceutical companies don't start the launch plan early enough. With rare disease, you've got to train the sales force, hire them, train them, and then they have to go out into the field and educate the physicians on how to recognize and diagnose the rare disease even before they start promoting your product. The second pitfall that's often made by biotech companies and pharmaceutical is setting a optimistic, over-optimistic actually, national goal for the rare disease. And finally, and very frequently made, is that the product launch sales compensation design is ineffective. These are the three big pitfalls for rare disease. In our next segment, we're going to look at sales compensation designs that are very common but should be avoided for the product launch of a rare disease. But that'll have to wait until next time. This is Dr. John Keon from the Marketing Advantage saying thank you for watching, wishing you good health.